Oh, buy Instagram followers.
Instagram whores, man.
Gotcha.
Yo, F for an F, you first.
No, this is like someone tagged us in something.
I saw that.
What's F for an F? Fuck for a fuck?
Follow for a follow.
Oh.
Speaking of hard Fs, you guys see the Reds?
Oh,
the
my
Reds
God.
announcer?
What a fucking idiot. The apology was the best when he was hitting a home run.
Yeah, he stopped.
Yeah, that's going to be a home run by Nick Castellanos.
I'm very sorry. You may never hear from me again because I'm about to get fired. And
Please.
that's a home run.
Please, if anybody knows me at Fox, people I know, please just tell them how awesome I am. I mean, that's basically what it came down to, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I tend to go against the grain regardless of what it is, and so many people are calling for this guy's fucking head. Look, I mean, you can't drop hard Fs, especially on national TV or even regional TV. Like, you're going to fire the guy for him? Suspend him. Like, suspend him, take away a paycheck or 2, 3, 4.
They can go to counseling.
Whatever. Like, you're going to take away his fucking livelihood because he said a really shitty word? The overreach of the fucking Twitter world internet is disgusting. It's so bad.
It's cancel culture we live in right now.
And it's so hypocritical. How many mistakes have these people made in their lives that they're calling for people's jobs?
That's why if we ever get signed, we have to delete all our social media accounts.
No, what I was going to say, too, is, like, you know what? He probably says all the same shit, like, at restaurants and all this other shit with all his friends. So there's going to be, like, 20, 30 more stories that are coming out and be like, hey, look how idiot you are. So, like,
well, if that's the case, if he's actually,
like, for me, I'm fucked.
If he's actually,
I'm fucked.
Well, I don't know. We probably have the most hate for you out of everybody, and we're working with you. So what does that say?
That's fine. People love me. Yeah.
If he's actually prejudiced and is actually a shitty guy, then and he sucks in his workplace like that, then yeah, maybe he shouldn't. Then maybe he doesn't belong in the media.
You call it the F capital of the world.
Yeah, it's a shitty fucking thing to say.
I thought that was
there was
Francisco, not KC,
I didn't hear.
But, that's not me.
I did not hear any. Yeah, that's enough. You can't say that either, Bill.
Breaking news.
Just because you don't say the word. We got breaking news?
Yeah, the NBA for the NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, the Knicks missed it again.
The Knicks missed it again.
What a shame.
Breaking news, the NBA lottery results, the Timberwolves have what? Gotten the number one?
Number one seed.
They got the number one pick.
Minnesota. Oh, it's going to look great with Kevin Garnett buys the team this fall.
Was that aired?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
really?
I didn't even realize it was tonight.
Dude, you know what?
What's that?
You know where the Knicks ended up?
Hopefully last.
8th.
Good. They're trying to get Dolan out of there.
Oh, yeah.
The NBA rigging the draft is the best, most truest conspiracy that there is. And if the NBA knows that Kevin Garnett's close to buying that team, they 1,000% gave him the number one pick.
Oh, fuck yeah.
1,000%. But we're not doing NBA tonight, boys. I'm actually watching right now, and the local 9 are actually winning. They're actually winning. They might get a winning streak tonight.
Is that called a winning streak?
2 in a row is a winning streak, technically.
Oh, shit.
They're up 3-0 on Baltimore. It's only top of the 4th. You might still see the likes of that fucking puke Ryan Brazier give it away tonight, so don't get your hopes up yet, Boston.
Come the 7th or 8th, that lead will go bye-bye.
Yeah, and it's only 9 o'clock, so we got another 4.5 hours before this sucker ends. Which brings me on to my leading point. Welcome to Simple Minds Social Hour, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Cheers.
Cheers, William.
Simple Minds Social Hour is brought to you by Wild Basin, the best goddamn boozy sparkling water in the biz. I got your favorite tonight, Bill. I got blueberry mango.
I just love the blueberry mango. I'm drinking one right now, boys.
Got the black raspberry.
That's
black raspberry.
That's my second favorite.
That's money. Wild Basin's brought to you by Oscar Blues, the guys that brought you Dale's Pale Ale for your beer drinkers. Been around forever, crushing the game. They're actually having production issues. They can't keep this shit in stock, so we're hoarding pretty hard. And sipping, every taste tastes a little bit better because we know we can't get it. But at your local stores, you New England folk, Hannaford's, even the Whole Food hippies, you can go get it there, or your local Packy, or your local liquor store anywhere. So Wild Basin, Simple Minds Social Hour is brought to you by Wild Basin. Here we go. The Red Sox fucking suck. 2020 Red Sox may go down as the worst team in history. They're on pace for if it was a regular season, 46 wins.
They're going to set the record I think they need to win 16 games to percentage-wise not be the worst season in Red Sox history.
They have to win more than 16.
Yeah, they have to win more than 16. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from like 1913 or something, right? Like
1918.
Year I was born.
No, 18 they won.
Yeah,
you,
nice.
yeah, you were born. I'm glad you're embracing the old man jokes, Bill. It's a little less fun because you don't get mad at us anymore. But
I never got mad at you.
It makes
That's
God forbid I have
debatable.
gray hair.
God forbid he calls us bitch tits every other second because we call him old.
Hey,
So with this
the shoe
abysmal
fits.
with this abysmal goddamn Red Sox season, thought it was appropriate for this social hour to get a little venting, a little hate. We've done Boston's Greatest Villains, which was one of my favorite shows. I thought that was an absolute fire show.
I love that show.
We got the infamous. I don't know if that was the coming out party for Billy Trashcan Bad Words when you absolutely went on a tear about Ray Bork, but it was close if not. So
Good one-eyed Willie joke in there too. Don't forget that one.
The deplorable hatred and visceral personalities that we all hold inside ourselves, we do hate really, really well. So this one should go good. I hope you guys bring some fire. We want to talk about the most hateable Red Sox players that we have been forced to root for. I said the history of the team, but I my lifetime, you can't root for someone that if you're not alive, right? So
It's not fair to us. That's not fair to you and I, Rich, because Bill's way older than us, so he has a lot
Bill's
more.
got 112 years of experience in him. He might be a real Ty Cobb hater, you know?
Yeah. I saw the sale of Babe Ruth, man. I've seen it all.
That bitch needed to go.
Yeah.
Those bitch tits needed to go.
God forbid this motherfucker wanted fun to play. Who was one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
What a prick. So we're going to do the classic snake draft as we have in the past. And Ray, you texted the order earlier. I put up a challenge flag, but that's fine. You can lay the order down. Who's going first on this?
It goes the Queen, then myself, Dr. Big, and then you.
Oh, God. And by the way, you guys have really good nicknames, and you guys have not given me any nicknames because your brains are too small and you can't come up with creative
Mitch
shit.
is a great fucking nickname.
I'm sick of being called fucking Mitch.
Anyway,
just keep it.
How about Ramathorn?
Here we go.
How about Ramathorn?
Is that from Super Troopers?
Yeah. How about Team Ramrod?
What would you call him? Why would you call him Ramathorn?
Yeah, I'm not. Isn't he
Because you have
black?
a wicked. Yeah,
No,
but he
he's-
had a
he's
fucking
Muslim.
awesome mustache.
He did.
Then
Who
him
wants
and
a mustache?
then him
Who
and
wants a
Farmer
mustache,
teamed up.
Ryan?
So did
Say
Farmer.
Team
Farmer-
Ramrod. Say
Farmer
Team
had-
Ramrod.
I'll call him a fucking chicken fucker.
Watch this.
License and registration, chicken fucker.
Easy, Farva. Easy, Rod. Easy,
I just
Rod.
want a goddamn liter of cola.
Hello, radio? Radio?
Dude, that is one of my favorite movies. I fucking love that movie.
Of course, yeah. Absolute classic. All right, let's kick this hate-a-thon off. We'll go snake draft. Billy Diva Ross, Queen Boy, you're up.
Of course, I'm going to go with my man Roger Clemens.
Knew it.
I almost went Bill Buckner, but you said my lifetime, so I switched from him, and he kind of got redeemed. But no, Roger Clemens. I told you, he quit on the Red Sox for many, many years, pay dispute. He actually made Bruce Hurst pitch Game 7 in the World Series in '86 because he refused to pitch on short rest. After he left in '97 to Toronto, he won back-to-back Cy Youngs.
96, maybe.
96. Well, yeah, 97 season he was gone because, and then 98 they got Pedro, so they had that one real shit year. And he won 3 more Cy Youngs after he left the Red Sox. And he went to the Yankees, won fucking World Series in the Yankees. Went to Houston, almost won a World Series with Houston. He's fucking dead to me. I hate you, Roger Clemens. I fucking hate you. You got fat as a motherfucker, and Dan Duquette refused to sign you, and then you got fat as fuck. And you quit on the Red Sox. You quit on the Red
steroids.
Sox.
He got steroid fat.
Yeah. No, his wife got steroids.
Right.
His wife. Peyton
Right.
Manning excuse. I get it.
Sure. Yeah.
Roger Clemens all fucking day, baby. Fuck him.
We knew you were going Clemens. You hate Clemens. I don't have the visceral hate.
No, you know what the stupidest thing I've ever heard was when Susan fucking Waldman, when he came back for the Yankees, and all the dramatic things I've ever seen. Posada knew, Pettit knew, and that was it. That was fucking it. Everybody knew. Fuck you, that stupid from Boston who's a fucking Yankees fan now. Fucking.
You do an uncanny Susan. You just unbelievable. I couldn't tell who was talking.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Pettit knew. Yeah, of course, because they fucking inject each other's assholes with steroids.
Well, Pettit was just for injury. Let's be.
Yeah. So was Rodney Harrison.
We can't get him on too. We can't go on him too much for steroids. I mean, everyone was doing the fucking steroids. But yeah, Clemens going to the Yankees hurts, man. Clemens going to the Yankees hurts. Even going to the Blue Jays sucked. You had to see him.
You went back-to-back Cy Youngs.
So often won back-to-back Cy Youngs. Yeah, you could tell he wasn't giving it all on the Red Sox, but. Yeah, I mean, I can see the hate. I don't have it. Dan Duquette gets a ton of hate from that era in handling the Red Sox.
Because Pedro won in '99.
But he did put together the 2004 World Series winning Red Sox. So,
yep, and we agreed on that.
There's enough hate to go around. Okay, Clemens is on the board. Dr. Big Mac, let's see this stellar pick.
David Price.
You son of a bitch.
So early. I like it.
Oh, well. Before you came here, you were offered less money to go to St. Louis. You said you'd rather go play for St. Louis, but instead signed here because we offered you more money. You were nothing but a nagging little cunt, getting to a fight with Dennis Eckersley on a plane, hating the media, treating everyone like they're little, kind of like how Bill treats Rich and I like a queen. You're better than all of us.
And more like it.
Then you get into the playoffs and you can't do shit. And then one time, kind of like how I do, I pull something out of my ass. You go and win the World Series, and then you think everyone should bow down to you? This guy, when he
had all the trump cards, right? You had the trump cards.
I had all the trump cards, yeah. So when he got traded to the Dodgers with the Mookie Betts trade, I was glad to see this fucking cunt go. But, yeah, David Price was just insufferable, talking about his dog Astro all the time. Oh, my fucking
God. And he's still hurting you. You're still paying half of his fucking salary.
Oh, yeah.
Should have went to Missouri, David. Should have went to Missouri, David. Worse, I didn't want to sign him when they had him. It was an absolute miserable goddamn experience watching David Price play baseball for the Boston Red Sox. He was a DL threat every time he went on the mound. Now, don't get me wrong. He had some good seasons with the Red Sox. He didn't have stellar seasons. He didn't have $30 million a year seasons, but he had some good seasons. And that 2008 World Series, he balled out. He pitched his ass off. But the first time he got to the playoffs as a Red Sox, I didn't look this up. I should have. Just like hysterically predictable shit his pants. Everybody knew it was going to happen. Everyone in the fucking ballpark knew David Price was going to pitch like shit, and he did every single time until he got to the World Series in 2018 and somehow out of the bullpen was able to get over it. And then he held all the trump cards. And then 2019 didn't have that great of a season. Then got his ass shipped as a fucking giveaway, as a giveaway prize to the Dodgers. And
before that World Series run, did he ever make it out of the third inning in the playoffs? I don't think he ever made it past the third inning because he always got lit up early.
Well, yeah.
Third or fourth. He
it was never far. It was never like 6th, 7th inning.
I'd throw out there he never had a
he was 0-9.
A quality start.
He was 0-9 in decision starting. I think he was in the 08 World Series. He was a reliever because he came in on the Red Sox and shut the team down in Fenway.
Yeah.
And all that, you know what I mean? But
well, you can't. My list as we go forward will have a ringing truth to it that it's big money guys that can't handle the pressure in Boston. And David Price is the shining star of big money guys that can't handle pressure in Boston. His whining to the media every fucking day, his Fortnite carpal tunnel injury, his fucking David Eckersley.
Do you think that's really Fortnite? Do you think he just jacking off?
No, he was bringing that Fortnite. He was bringing a video game system on the road with him.
Do you think he had carpal tunnel from jacking off?
What did he call his wrist? Like the special magic. He had a special magical wrist that didn't need surgery. He was just going to be able to heal it. Remember what year was that? They thought he should have gone to surgery. The Red Sox said he probably should have gone to surgery, and he said no.
17.
I have a special wrist.
Well, no, it's 2018, wasn't it? Wasn't he hurt early in 2018, and then he came back healthy? I don't remember. It was either 17 or 18, but he got hurt, and then he came back for the playoffs.
Too many DL stints to remember. He was a gutless gutless, one of the most gutless fucking loser players that I've ever witnessed. Just a pain in the ass to watch. Pain in the goddamn ass. Speaking of guts, my next pick, Pablo Sandoval. Woo! This is more for a comedy factor because we actually didn't even get to watch this guy very long. A year and a half in the Red Sox system. They paid him $95 million over 5 years, which was big money in 2015 for a fat-ass third baseman. The Red Sox paid him $48.6 not to play baseball for the Boston Red Sox. $48.6 million not to play. In his basically one season with the Red Sox, he hit .245. He had a -2 WAR, 10 homers, 47 RBIs, and 1 billion probably Dorito pizza rolls, whatever the fuck he eats. Pablo Sandoval was one of the worst Red Sox signings that they have ever been a part of, hands down.
Terrible. Yeah, you just got done paying him. Hey, you see how fat as fuck he is with the Giants right now?
He's got a fucking eating clause.
He can't even fucking bend over. He plays third base. He can't even bend over to get a ground ball.
Yeah, dude, that was who was that? Charrington, him and Hanley. They came the same year. Now, $90 million contracts. Like, dude, come on. Why? I get why they signed him. I mean, he came 3 World Series. He was a stud in the postseason. Can't shit on him for that. For the Giants, 3 World Series. It's like, all right, cool, we got something. And then he shows up 467 pounds in the first spring training game, and then you're like, oh, great. And I think, remember that time when he fell on his face diving for a ground ball, and it looked like a fucking avalanche from Mount Everest coming down on the little Nepali villages and shit? That's how fat fuck he looked. Dude, it was awful. You remember when he fucking broke his belt?
Pompeii. You're talking about the villagers of Pompeii.
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Pompeii was the fucking volcano. That was the volcano. The Nepalese villages are where Mount Everest is in Nepal.
Oh.
So all the villages in Nepal. That's why I said avalanche from
I
Mount
just keep
Everest.
thinking of that picture we put on Instagram with his gut hanging out in spring training.
Dude, did you hear Carabas was so annoyed about that? He's like, it was a bad angle. Fuck you, Jared Carabas. How are you famous? You fucking.
No, I thought he called him fat and he was getting shit for it.
No.
He was pretty sure he called him.
Looking back, I thought he was defending Pablo.
No, he called him fat. So what you read was probably sarcastic. He called him fat and he got shit for it.
The angle.
He was catching shit for fat shaming Pablo Sandoval.
I have a question.
Fat. You're a professional athlete. You're a professional goddamn athlete. This is what pisses me off about the Red Sox. This is why he lands so high on my list. You got paid $95 million and you fell right into the goddamn right into the slot of you get paid and you don't come to play. You get your money, and then you basically quit on your team. That's the worst. That's the worst thing that you can fucking do. Get your paycheck and then just quit. Pablo Sandoval, worst signing in Red Sox history. Let me go on the snake draft here to my next pick. A couple years before the Fat Panda himself, I hated watching this guy hit. Hated it with a passion.
Please go.
JD Drew.
Oh.
Number 1 overall pick, Mr. JD Drew. 5 years, $70 million. Was this Drew Rosenhaus was his agent?
No.
Boris.
Was it Boris? Scott Boris.
Rosenhaus does football.
Football, yep. Boris
Whatever.
is a baseball guy.
Do research, idiot.
Read the email, dumbass.
Changing all my picks to Ray.
Good, I have no more. Anyways.
JD Drew fucking sucked. He came in as a right fielder trying to replace Trot Nixon. He was touted to be the greatest baseball player on earth, 5-tool player, the perfect swing from the left side of the bat. He averaged 261 over 5 years. He averaged 16 home runs a year and 57 RBIs and 121 games played. The most games he ever played in a season was 140. He was another DL stint with a little fucking nagging injury here and there. Every time he walked up to the plate where he needed a big hit, minus 1 grand slam in the ALCS. I'll give it the
$70 million
ALCS.
grand slam?
I guess you want to call it that because that's all he did. That's all he did. He stunk. He outright stunk. He fucking stunk.
My favorite JD Drew story is when he got drafted by the Phillies the year before he went number 1, because I think he was a 2-time top 5 player draft pick or whatever, something crazy like that. So every time he went back to Philadelphia, those ruthless cunt of fans used to throw D batteries at him in the outfield. When he used to come back for the Braves, remember he was on St. Louis, I believe, and then St. Louis traded him to the Braves. And then, so every time he used to play in the Philly, they used to throw fucking batteries at him from the outfield, dude. That's my
Well, maybe
favorite
the Red
championship
Sox should have done their goddamn research
Hey,
and read
I don't
the
give a
emails
shit. He
on
brought
that.
us the World Series.
They should have Kevin Costner drafted that and said nobody likes this guy. They throw batteries at him. We shouldn't take him. Do a little market research. So Danny Ainge should have done it on Kyrie. If these guys, they don't have the mental capacity to come in here and handle the big contract and handle the city of Boston, they're gonna fail every single time. I got a fucking list as long as my arm that are full of guys that got big contracts that sucked in Boston.
Good. I can't wait to hear it. You're
it's
up
a
next.
It's a giant goddamn factor. It's a giant factor when it comes to Boston athletes. So as you guys mumble to yourselves about your stupid fucking idiot comments, Ray, what's your next pick?
In 2012, after probably one of the greatest managers that ever managed the Boston Red Sox, Terry Francona, left, got fired, got blackballed out of this team, we hired Bobby Valentine.
Ooh, he's going the manager route.
I couldn't stand Bobby Valentine. The guy is just a fucking joke. He played when he got booted from the Mets, when he got thrown out of the game, and he put that disguise on, came back on the fucking.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
That was stupid. This guy was just a joke.
I love that.
And then the next year,
he invented the panini or something. He invented
he did invent something.
He invented some sandwich, or he claimed he invented some sandwich.
Was it the Italian sub? No, I think it was like an Italian sub or something.
He invented some sandwich, or
the Italian sub.
I think so. He quotes that he invented a sub of some.
Of course
sort.
he does.
I'm sorry, I'm the fat one of the show. I should have known this.
Yeah, that should be on the list. Do your research, idiot.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Great manager in Japan, though.
Great manager in Japan, but 69 and 93, 1 year in Boston, and then he gets fired. We win the championship the next year with John Farrell, who is not even a very good manager as is, but I think he was like a Rick Pitino of this team. He just brought the team down for that 1 year and just
look.
Hold on. Can I say something real quick? If you put Claude Julien and John Farrell together, they would look like a set of tits on legs.
How many legs?
3.5.
Okay.
There's always one tit's always lopsided.
Okay, yeah, no, you know they're real if they're a little bit off.
Yep.
John Valentine
Bobby
Valentine.
Do some research, idiot.
Right, if you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking punch you through the screen.
How come you never mute Ray? You always mute me.
Good
He
call.
does these fucking stupid comments.
Yeah, John Bobby Valentine deserves a lot of hate. He deserves a lot of hate because that season stunk. Little fact here: when the Red Sox finished last this year, John Henry's reign over the Red Sox will have just as many World Series as they have last place finishes. How do you like that for a fucking Red Sox fan? But I will say this about Bobby John Valentine. He kind of got fucking sabotaged. He got a little bit sabotaged. I mean,
definitely. Yeah, I agree.
He's an old school baseball coach. He was probably past his time in the MLB for sure, but he fucking got sabotaged. You're coming off the 2011 chicken and beer team that absolutely demolished and crushed Tito Francona. Did not deserve what he got there, and the team were a bunch of assholes that year. 2012, he comes in, and this guy's on my list. Not to spoil it, hopefully he's not on yours, Bill, but Adrian Gonzalez, big free agents signing for the Red Sox. He had that texting scandal under Bobby John Valentine where he claimed it wasn't him, but it was him, where he was going behind his back texting
they were going up
ownership.
the owner. They were going up the back door in the ownership. And
that group of players committed mutiny twice. That group of players was an impossible challenge for a manager to take on, and Bobby Valentine was not the guy for it, clearly. So he deserves a criticism for sure. But let's paint the picture for what it was.
Yeah, and I got a point on that too, Rich. That started in spring training because if you remember correctly, he was calling out Kevin Youkilis, and then who got on the fucking podium the next day was Dustin Pedroia going, "This is not how things run around here. This is not how we do things around here." So that old school approach already rubbed her off in the first week of training camp.
And you have to think
that, you know what I mean? And that's when I lost respect for Pedroia, but that's another story.
Well, we should do a deep dive into this. You have to think that there was a fraction of that locker room that watched what happened to Tito and were pissed.
The
Pedroias, the Youkilis, yeah.
That was also they signed Carl Crawford too, because right there.
Yeah, they signed Carl Crawford. Was an
so
absolute
I think
failure.
Carl, he was a failure and an enema of the team too, right? He didn't get along with anybody and shit. So it was like, I think it was like with Valentine, it was just a fucking like nuclear. It was a perfect storm.
Yeah, you had guys like Pedroia that probably loved
cliche.
Tito Francona.
Oh, he did. They do.
And the Red Sox badmouth him out of fucking town, and then they bring in Bobby Valentine. It didn't matter who they were bringing in at that point. The sanction that or the fraction that was led by Pedroia, which is probably most of them because that's the type of guy Pedroia was in that locker room, said, "Fuck this! You guys blew Francona out of town. Anybody you bring in here next we're not gonna like him." You know, and high school kind of shitty fucking behavior type of thing. Bobby Valentine didn't stand a chance, and guess what? He did not even come close to meeting the challenge. He stunk 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Oh yeah, it was
See ya.
terrible. It was terrible.
Billy Queen, bad words. Who else? Who else do we got? Who else we got to?
I'm throwing out
Baith.
I'm gonna throw out such an obscure reference here, Mr.
Can't wait.
Carl Everett.
I had him on my list.
I'm on my list too. Yeah.
All right, good. That motherfucker didn't believe in dinosaurs.
He didn't believe in
dinosaurs.
That's the best one. Yeah.
He did not believe man walked on the moon because the motherfucker never saw it in real life. He didn't believe in dinosaurs because the motherfucker never saw it in real goddamn life. Remember when he jumped up the bat, his eyes would bug out of his fucking head?
Yeah.
99, 2000, dude. Carl Everett, I always hated that.
Doesn't he have a shit ton of like domestic abuse cases? Yeah. He's just a shitbag.
I always get him confused with the other guy, Will Cordero, who beat his wife with a cell phone. So I wasn't sure if that was Carl Everett or Will Cordero. It was one of those two. I'm pretty sure it might have been Carl Everett. And I think that's why the Red Sox got rid of him.
Yes, it was. I don't know if it was because of a cell phone. I don't remember the specific cell phone beating, but I do remember that the Red Sox had to get rid of Carl Everett because he had met his fucking quota on shitty. It was before social media.
Did he spit in Joe West's face?
He was a shitty
spit
guy.
right in his face. Yeah,
he was a piece of shit, asshole, and he wasn't that good of a baseball player, to be honest.
Remember he had that wide open stance. He had that wide open stance too. He's a switch hitter, I believe too. He was a good hitter, but he's batshit crazy. He was CTE before CTE came out.
Yeah, without getting hit.
Yeah.
He was.
I'm sure his mom beat him when he was growing up. A different story. Story for another day.
Yeah, maybe a switch there.
Carl Everett, guys on my list.
Carl Everett was on the list. Yeah, that's just a classic bad words, bad guy. Love that.
Yeah, baby.
All right, good one. Good quick one. Next, you're up. Snake draft. Let's see if we can bang through some couple here.
You mentioned it before. Four last place finishes, 4 World Series. John Henry.
Ooh, taking it to the top.
Let's go Red Sox.
I've hated this ownership for a long time. You pushed Theo out the door twice, who was the greatest GM in the history of the Red Sox. You went through Ben Charrington. You went through you're on Bloom and then Dombrowski since 2013. All right, you're letting these GMs or baseball operation managers, whatever you want to call them, go into lame duck years. You fired Dombrowski after you let him hand all this money to all these guys. You Bobby Valentine, John Farrell, all this shit, all these stupid ass signings, dude. You put more money into your soccer team over the last X amount of years when you bought them until then you did the Red Sox. You put money into the Boston Globe. Tom Warner's a cunt. You put too much faith in Larry Lucchino, who drove Theo out. He's at the top of my list. He's my guy. Fuck him.
Well, I was going to say, I think when you talk about Red Sox and John Henry, if he's not on the list, I think Larry Lucchino's got to be a 1A there. Because in his own words, John Henry's own words, Larry Lucchino runs the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And he drove Theo out of town, and he started the bullshit because it's been a topsy-turvy. Like I just said, they'll have as many last-place finishes as World Series under John Henry's ownership with Larry Lucchino running the Red Sox until whenever they fucking made that fake.
I also put
when Dombrowski came, they made the fake fucking adjustment from management that Larry Lucchino had less of a impact on the game.
And I put 2011 more on John Henry than Tito because I think it was that Tito was a player's manager, but I think with all the veterans, it was more like ownership driven. And then the smear campaign, when the greatest manager in the history of the Red Sox left, you basically fired him. And then the smear campaign that he was cheating on his wife, living in a hotel, addicted to pills, all that shit. You own the fucking newspaper that it's coming out in.
Right.
You hand-fed all the stories to the Boston Globe. Boston Globe never writes any bad stories about the Red Sox because the owner of the Red Sox owns the Boston Globe. John Henry is a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Then we stormed Felger and Maz. Fuck him.
Really transparently a douchebag and way too PR conscious over there to
Yeah.
buy up the newspaper in Boston
Yep.
and and then completely control the narrative coming out of Fenway. I agree with you. It's hard to get on an ownership group that has brought in 4 World Series in 16 years or whatever it's been. But yeah, it's been a turbulent ride, and we're seemingly at the bottom of the barrel in 2020 with what they've done after Dombrowski.
One more real quick point. You just see the stupid decisions after stupid decisions. He just goes out and tries to hire his friends. That's why Dombrowski came, because they were in the Marlins together. He built the Marlins World Series teams. And he's just trying to go out and hire his friends because he wants to get this big signing to get all the pressure back after you had back-to-back last place finishes. And then with Farrell came, right? And then after Farrell, I get it, you won the division and shit, but you were right out in the playoffs.
3 out of 4 last place finishes. 13 that 13 fluke year was right in the middle of it. 3 out of 4 last 15, place finishes.
And then you won 16 and 17, you were fired, right? Or something like that.
Well, it was whatever. It was 11, 12 last place, 13 World Series, 14 last place. Mm-hmm. And then 15, 16, they
I thought 15 was last place too.
They might have got 15 last place too. Yeah, they went every other. Every other there. So yeah, it's been 2 and your farm system is shit. So
yeah, and then you agreed with all those trades, but yeah, he's on my list. He's almost on the dead to me list too. He might be on the Mount Rushmore dead to me.
4 World Series. Ray? You can't call Ray. You can't call him cheap. He does spend money on the Red Sox.
Spend.
He might have spent more on Liverpool, but he does spend money on the Red Sox. I never
said cheap, though. But you also agreed to trade Mookie Betts. That's another thing I want to say. And have you seen him in the Dodgers years? He's a fucking stud. He's just 3rd in the league in home runs, and you agreed to let him go. I put that
That's
on
another story.
Ownership.
We've gone over this a lot. We've gone over this a little.
That's also another reason. Go, Ray. It's your point. Go.
I might get shit from both of you, but I don't care. Dustin Pedroia. I fucking can't stand this guy. So he has probably
Dude, why do every time we do this you throw out the fucking most lovable players? I swear to fucking God.
Bottom of the totem pole of dumb.
Let me tell you why. He got the best nickname from Toucher and Rich, Dusty Two Sacks. Fucking called and complained that he doesn't want to be called that. Do not call me that. That was my first strike. Second strike was when the whole Adam Jones thing, when they threw at him and then they threw at Adam Jones. He was like, that wasn't me. Not sticking up for your teammates. That is a fucking bitch move. And then you've been hurt for how long? 4 or 5 years? Retire. Get this fucking money off the fucking books. Get the fuck out of Boston. You're done. You're washed up. You're no good anymore. Get the fuck out of here.
I cannot support that take.
There's a lot of hate for me with Dustin Pedroia for a lot of things you said. But, man, the 07-08 Dustin Pedroia, when he came up, dude, the underdog MVP in 08, Rookie of the Year, dude, I cannot hate on that guy. I mean, I get it. I have some hate off. I don't mean I can't hate on him because Adam Jones thing, I lost a lot of respect for him, a couple other things. But you know what, though? It's not a lot of respect for me to put him on the list of most hated Red Sox to root for.
Absolutely what year was that in, though? What year was that in the Machado slide?
16 or 17. It was one of like that was like 17. The downfall for his injury because there was a lot like he went spike up at him in the knee. So there was that.
It was the Farrell years, though.
Yeah.
They fucking hated John Farrell. He had no respect for John Farrell. No one in that club had respect for John Farrell.
2020, we're still paying him, so there you go.
Yeah, whatever. That's fucking baseball.
Ray,
I'm not going to get on him for the goddamn crime. The Mets are playing Bobby Bonilla for 30 more years.
If you were in that same position, you wouldn't retire to get $18 million a year for 2 more years.
Dude, Dustin Pedroia is one of the, in this era of Red Sox baseball, one of the best Red Sox players that they had. And one of the most fun players to watch. Maybe he made some questionable decisions on the field when their entire organization was going into the shitter. But no, Dustin Pedroia does not belong on that list, and he will not be on the list. I'm just going to cut that entire take.
Thank God.
Can I just? I have a few. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and rattle off a couple.
I want to rattle off a few as well.
Okay, well, this is just open season right now. This is current. Ryan Brazier, you cock-headed Australian pitching motherfucker, get off my team. You suck. Carl Rivett, you had a scumbag. Actually, the next one I have a little bit more to it, and you might not like this either. Josh Beckett.
I like Josh Beckett.
Josh Beckett was so goddamn frustrating to root for. Every little blister on his hand. He was so when he was focused, nails. That 07 team, Josh Beckett, unbelievable.
Remember, he beat also too when he was on the Marlins. He beat the Yankees on 2 days rest in Game 6.
Yeah, I liked him because he was fat.
He was fat.
But he was fat when he sucked. When he didn't suck, he wasn't fat. That's the
Red
point.
Sox made up for that. That he was in that Carl Everett deal too with the Adrian Gonzalez. I want to throw out Wade Boggs. Of course, you already know me why I hate his guts. Fucking horse incident. He's on the list.
Fucking horse. The fucking horse. You know who pissed me off? I don't really have a really good reason for this. Julio Lugo. Julio Lugo seemed like he got in way too many spots up at the plate and like acted like he was gonna get the hit and never fucking got the hit. Would just like weakly ground out to second base. Like Julio.
Unless
Lugo
it was the Mother's Day miracle. I want to throw one out. A 1-season guy, Edgar Renteria.
Ooh, he was on the short list.
2005, Edgar Renteria couldn't handle the pressure. Went to the Atlanta Braves. Was San Francisco Giants was World Series MVP in 2006 or 2007, whatever. 2006, I think they won. He was World Series MVP.
The reason he didn't climb my list is he wasn't a douchebag about it. He just couldn't perform.
Doesn't matter.
Can I throw one out?
It was like Ray. It was like Ray 20 years ago.
Dice K. So fucking boring to watch that guy play.
Jimmy Williams.
Dice K was the gyro ball never came to be. Clay Buchholz. Clay Buchholz
is good.
Watching Clay Buchholz pitch and dot around the fucking plate and never go after guys was frustrating as shit. Never reaching his potential was frustrating as shit. Clay Buchholz was a very hard person for me to watch play baseball.
Matt Clement.
I don't have a problem with Matt Clement. I feel like that was too short.
Terrible signing. 2005 was awful pitcher. Awful.
John Lackey.
Oh, John Lackey.
Jose Canseco.
Hold on. I don't have do I get to give a reason?
No, we already know John Lackey.
John Lackey bangled teeth underachieving piece of shit. The
snarled
tooth not
cancer.
giving a fuck about baseball. Mm-hmm. Johnny Gomes, Tool.
Yeah, but he wasn't hateable.
Oh, I fucking hated Johnny Gomes. What a fucking tool bag. What an absolute tool.
But I'm going to Jose Canseco. Come on.
Wasn't he on the Red Sox when it went off his head?
No, it was at Texas.
It was at Texas. You're right.
It was at Texas, yeah.
Do you remember this guy? I used to call him the Strikeout King. Remember
Willie Mo Pena?
No, Daniel Nava.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember David.
Hit a grand slam his first at bat in the pros against Philadelphia.
Yeah, and apparently that carried him for about 5 years.
Yeah, and then he signed with Philly later on too. Yeah.
Rain Man over here.
Who's the pitcher that fucking beat the shit out of his wife? Oh my god.
This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show Social Hour. Most hateable Red Sox to root for. We started off a little slow, but I think we got there, boys. This one was brought to you by Wild Basin Boozy Sparkling Water. Get your local spot and get the best of these. They're delicious. Good night. Henry Owens.
Willie Mo Pena.
The next Sandy Koufax. Henry Owens.
So on my last one, I was going to either say Dustin or Nomar, but I knew I'd get more shit for Nomar, so I didn't say
Nomar can make the list because of how much of a cunt he turned into at the end of his career. Petey belongs nowhere fucking close to this list. He doesn't even get to the bottom of it.
Grady Little.
The end of his career, the end of his tenure in Boston has been a shit show.
He made some questionable decisions under John Farrell because no one fucking respected John Farrell.
It's 2020, Rich. When was the last time you saw him play? 4 years ago.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to hold that against him. That's not even rooting for him. Who gives a shit?
I do. Dr. Big Mac.
Grady Little. And you know why. Grady fucking Little.
Yeah, we know.
Dude, he was my number one before the fucking non-record one. Grady Little.
No.